They are the lifeline of our country, right? Small business, truck drivers, essential workers.
Was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the peril for the land hearts we brought. Were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, guys, glad to have you all here. I would like to bring up, where is Tana? Tana, come on up. Trump's former senior advisor came to Farm Boy Garage to see all you truckers today.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. How y'all doing tonight? Awesome. Well, welcome to Des Moines for those of you who aren't from here, and welcome home. Actually, I just got off an airplane traveling from Georgia to be here with you all tonight. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody who's a part of this convoy. I want to thank you all for showing up and supporting them, but let me talk to the convoy freedom family, really, to be honest with you. I want to talk to you right now. You heard that I work for President Trump. I think Bob said that, but if not, I am Tana. I was on Donald Trump's show, The Apprentice, 17 years ago. Stayed in touch with Donald Trump. I call him a friend. I love his family. I love him, and I love everything that he has done for this great country. Don't you guys? Don't you love the man? Yeah, he's incredible. I was just with him last week at Mar-a-Lago, and I told him how much I love him. I gave him a hug, and I just said, thank you from the bottom of our heart. We have never met a person tough enough to do and say what that man has done. So I want to say to you truckers, to you people who are putting everything on the line, sacrificing time away from your family, money, your jobs, friendships, putting yourself at risk, putting your lives at risk, the financial strain, don't think it goes unnoticed. As I said, I was a senior advisor for President Trump. I met a lot of incredible patriots along the way. The number one question I get when I travel the country speaking is, what was your favorite part? Because there was a lot of parts about that job I hated. My number one favorite part of being on his campaign in 2016 as well as in 2020 was meeting the blue-collar patriots, not the rich, bred politicians. I didn't like meeting the hotty-toddy people that were writing the $25,000 checks. What I loved were people like you all. I love the truckers. Do you know what? When nobody would even stand behind Donald Trump, I actually have the sweatshirt in my car, but it's so damn hot, I didn't put it on. When we couldn't even get a person to stand up and caucus for this man, and I was part of a team of 5, there was a man and a woman in Des Moines, and they were both truckers. And they said, Tana, how can we help? We don't have a lot of money, but we want to help. And I said, man, you're truckers. Why don't we start a Truckers for Trump coalition? And they said, done. They had sweatshirts. Were any of you aware of, Gary, you remember the Truckers for Trump? Carolyn and Jeff, 2 truckers. They put their money on the line and bought sweatshirts and t-shirts, and they handed them out in every truck stop across Iowa, and then they became the United States. They did that because they cared. That was their part. But what you all are doing is incredible. And don't think for one second our great president doesn't see you, isn't watching you, and isn't applauding you for being bold and brave. So here, everybody give these great people a round of applause. You all are absolute freedom fighters and freaking fantastic. I love you. And so does Trump. Because at the end of the day, you know, when he came down that golden escalator and said, hey, Tana, I need you to quit your 3 jobs that you love. What? I don't want to quit my jobs that I loved. I was a professional speaker. I had a radio show here in Des Moines. Any Hey Tana Time fans? Did any of you guys watch my show? Well, it was crazy. It was super fun, and I loved it. And he said, I'm going to need you to quit all those jobs because you're going to be working a lot of hours to get me elected. And if we don't win Iowa, I'm going to blame you. And I was like, oh, no pressure at all. So I said, sure. So I quit my jobs and I put it all on the line. But I did that because he was bold. He was not like anybody else. He sure as hell wasn't a wimp. He wasn't a coward. He wasn't a squid like most of the politicians that say stuff and never deliver on those promises. Donald Trump says, hell no. What comes out of his mouth, he delivers on. I like that. I like alpha males. I don't want no beta bitch. No beta bitch. I can say that now because I'm my own boss. When I was on the campaign, I couldn't say stuff like that. But those men that don't know what it's like to be a man anymore, you need to find yourself. You need to reach down and look for it. It's there. I promise you. You gotta find it because strong, confident, bold bitches like me like strong, confident men like you. So, you truckers are no joke. You people aren't wimps. You people are putting it on the line, risking it all. I talked to a trucker in Georgia, as a matter of fact. He said, my life's been threatened. I thought, oh, I know what that's like. How are you dealing with it? And he's like, I freaking drive with a gun. What do you think how do you think I'm dealing with it? And I'm like, he's not scared. He's not cowering. He's not backing down like so many people do. And I just have to say, I can't thank you enough because I know what it's like to sacrifice on a different way. When I'm traveling the country pushing President Trump's agenda, I'm away from my husband, who I love more than life itself. I'm away from my children. I'm away from my business. I'm away from my friends. I'm away from things that make me happy. And so are you guys. You're not getting paid for this. So I just want to say, for those of you in the audience who have been blessed, we've all been blessed with different gifts. Mine has been the gift of encouragement. If you have been blessed financially and you're sitting on a pocket full of money, you got lots of zeros in your bank account, do me a favor. Donate financially to the Trucker Foundation here. Gina will disperse it properly, honestly. And where do they donate? Is there a spot? Okay, that ain't big enough for this kind of crowd's money. We need bigger. All right, so we got some rich guy or woman, $20. Fill that bad boy up before you leave. I don't care if it's $3, $500. These people are on the road for us, for our freedom. Now I want to talk about the people that are supporting them. If you have a spouse that is sitting at home saying, I'm sad to see you go, or you're a parent and you take off and you got to say goodbye to your child, that's not easy. I know what that's like. Saying goodbye to children to go do this thing that nobody can actually put their finger on, and then your friends go, when the hell are you going to give it up? I know what that's like. Hey, Tana, when are you going to quit supporting this guy? Like, the gig is up. Excuse me? The gig isn't up till we get him back in office. There's no gig up. You see who we got running this country? The gig isn't up. We aren't doing enough. So when you have to sacrifice and give up your time and say goodbye to your kids, or you have a spouse that's supporting you, even here, man, say thank you to them. Because from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to the people that are supporting you on this mission, This is a freedom mission, is the way I see it. It's a calling. Some of us have been called to do this, like Gina, and so many of you. This has not been my calling. My calling is to go inspire America First candidates to step out and take out the swamp. So I'm doing my part. But if you're sitting here just taking it in and receiving what we're giving you, the love, the light, seeing these trucks pull in, I almost started crying. But if you're sitting here as a taker, a consumer, shame on you. What are you doing to help us? Our country is going down the toilet with a big flush, and not a lot of people are doing a damn thing about it. So you better ask yourself, are you doing enough? So if you say, well, no, I'm not doing crap, then get your money up here and help these people get down the road to freedom. And let me tell you what I'm noticing, because I got to keep us on a time schedule because we've got a lot of great speakers. As I'm traveling the country from coast to coast, I'm crisscrossing the country. The same theme is everywhere. The people that are making a difference are mothers and fathers and freedom fighters. So a lot of people go, oh, I don't have a child. She's not talking to me. Yeah, I am. What I'm seeing, who I'm seeing step up, whether it's at a freedom convoy like this, whether it's a candidate stepping up, it is generally a mother or a father that has had enough. It's a patriot that says enough is enough. And what I want you all to know is, and this is what President Trump loves about you all, is there is power in numbers. So if your family says, what are you doing? Man, you're using all your vacation time. Enough's enough. They don't understand that the world is watching you. The world is seeing you, and you are inspiring the world with just what you're doing. You know, if you put your flag on your truck, that is incredible. We already know that the asphalt cowboys are Trump supporters. We already know that. And if you're an asphalt, there's the front door. Just kidding. But no, if you're an asphalt cowboy and you don't have a flag, it's okay, because we understand what that means. Your convoy says to us, freedom. And your convoy warms our hearts, it makes us smile, and we are so proud of you. I don't know if anybody has told you this, and that's why I wanted to come here. I told Gina, I don't care that I just got off an airplane. I don't care that I have a really early flight tomorrow. I want to be here, and I want to say thank you, because I don't know if anybody has thanked you lately. So, has anybody thanked you guys lately? Shake your head yes or no. Okay, good. I love seeing that. So you have been thanked. Has anybody said, I love you for what you are doing? A complete stranger, I love you. Awesome. And has anybody said, what can I do to help you? No. Okay, well, we got to do something about that. What can we do to help you? So we want you to know, tonight is your night to unwind, to listen to the good music. They got a great sound system here at Convoy. There's face painting for the children. You know, your children, if they're on the road with you, let them go have some fun. Let them unwind. Let them disconnect from what's going on so that they can have some fun. Farm Boy does a great job here, and we love you, we thank you, and we are all inspired by you. So once again, give these amazing patriots a huge round of applause. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. If any of you have a bad day, or you need inspiration, or you just need a little jolt of love or energy or light or positivity, you can follow me online. My name is Tana, T-A-N-A, and all of my pages are Hey Tana, H-E-Y-T-A-N-A. Send me a message and I'll send you back some love. If you have a question, if you have anything that you need, maybe there's something that we can do. I've got a great network of friends, and we're here to help you. So this night is all about you, to relax, unwind, and have fun. And we just say thank you, and may God bless each and every one of you. And we pray for your safety. So thanks for having me. God bless you all, and have an excellent night. Take care.
Thank you so much for being here, Tana. We appreciate you. So next we're going to have Miss Helena Hayes come up. She runs an organization called Protect My Innocence. Since running that organization, she has decided to put her money where her mouth is and stand up and run for representative in District 88. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for having me, everybody. I have to confess, this is my very first rally with the truckers. So, gosh, you guys have been a great group. So, I live about 50 minutes from here. My name's Helen.
Thank you for being here, Elena. We appreciate you. Next, I'm going to bring up Emily Peterson. She is working with a newly founded organization called America Stands United, and we've recently formed an Iowa chapter, Iowa Stands United. She's been instrumental in standing up for our children at these school board meetings and making their voices heard, making sure that our children weren't just silent without a voice. And she's been amazing at that. She's been my support for the last 2 years at the rallies and protests that I held, and I can't be more grateful for her.
Thank you, Tina. I'm so honored to be here. And I want to bring up my partner, Sonia Swan, who has been with me from the beginning. And when I say the beginning, I mean March, when these masks were forced on our children and they were child abuse. And I called it out for what it was. It was absolute abuse. So I just am wanting to introduce to you our new group. And we are so excited. Grassroots Army to put Iowa on the map. Our legislators, some of them are not doing their job and they're not standing with we the people. Who is the government? We are. We are. Exactly. So we're forming a grassroots army and we're taking it by storm. And this weekend I have the honor of being with the great General Michael Flynn, and he's going to be wearing this. And he's going to be showing everyone across the nation that Iowans are standing for freedom. Freedom. You know, like Helena said, true freedom can only be given to us by God. And so as I look around, and as I went through this journey of over a year now that ended in banning all mask mandates in our schools, right? We were the first state, Iowa, and you know who got it done? We the people working with champion legislators. We are the ones that got it done. So my journey began in March 2021. Sonia and I were out in the freezing cold before the Department of Public Health, which was really not where we should have been, but our in the right place. And by the next week, we got it right. And I was standing before the Ankeny school boards protesting against the child abuse that was forced on my daughter. And it ended May 20th, 2021, when we got masks banned. However, that was the beginning of my journey. I had no idea the journey God would lead me on. But it got the attention of General Michael Flynn, and he reached out to me and he said, look, you are making a difference, and I want to award you with the first ever Fearless Fighters for American Values, putting Iowa on the map for freedom. And I said, oh, General, we've just begun. We are absolutely a special people, and I believe that with all my heart. I've been here my whole entire life, and I really don't want to leave despite our very cold, crazy winters, and then all of a sudden it's summer. Where's our spring? But I want to stay here because I believe in us as Iowans. I absolutely do, and so does General Flynn. So as I travel across this country, speaking to moms and dads who are tired of this abuse, I am not just a mama bear any longer. I am a freedom fighter, and we're joining forces. And we have a grassroots army of about 6,000 to 8,000 and growing. We are represented by several groups, including Protect My Innocence that's here. We have Project 1791. We have Team Iowa. So we have Iowans for Medical Freedom. We have the Iowa Convoy. We have so many groups represented in Iowa Stands United right here. And we're going to continue to grow. So I encourage you, please register at iowastandsunited.com and get involved. We will send you emails, we will send you texts when events are coming up. And I want Sonia to talk about her journey a little bit and what she's been doing. Because you know what? There's no I in any of this. There's no ego. There's no room for ego. It's mission. Mission over ego. That's what General Flynn has said. Mission over ego. So anytime God aligns my path with someone who is passionate for freedom and God-fearing and God-loving, you better believe I'm going to join him and watch God Almighty do an amazing work.
Did you all know that we have a truck driver as a legislator? He's actually one of our most conservative, constitutional legislators in the Iowa House. So I say, truck drivers rock. So I ran for the House in 2020, and was in a district that was maybe a little more a different party than I was running with. And I did it because God said to do it. And he told me to run, and I didn't want to run. And God may be asking you to do something today or tomorrow or next week that you also don't want to do. So, I told God that he had to, answer some fleeces for me. And I said, well, if I'm supposed to do this and make this happen, and he did. And if I'm supposed to do this, make this happen, and he did. So that was a great journey. But now we have many other people, one standing right here, also running for the Iowa House. So Helena is a phenomenal candidate, and I do believe she can win that seat. And that is what has to happen. So I don't know how many of you are from Des Moines or how many of you are from other places around. We need good candidates. That means people who cannot be affected by swamp. They cannot be affected by establishment. People will stand with their principles. We run political leadership schools. We'll be running candidate schools all over Iowa. And the talent that you know is out there because you all are the ones that know the people, right? You know the people in your neighborhood, in your town, and you know who will stand. And there's might even be some of you here that could be running in the next election. And you're like, oh, that's not me. That's not me. But it might be you. So I want to encourage you to thoughtfully and prayerfully consider what your role is. If it's, hosting rallies like this, if it's going down to the Capitol and talking to legislators, every single person is important. We have somebody in our Facebook group that said, I'm sorry, I can't do any of that. I can't come to the Capitol. I don't have the money to donate. I can't do this. And I said, yeah, but you like every single Facebook post and you comment on it. And that's important. So every single person has a place in the freedom movement. And that's why we're here today. Because we are Iowa and we are free. And I just hope everybody can chant that. We are Iowa and we are what? Free. We are Iowa and we are free. We are Iowa and we are free. And just keep saying that to yourself. That's what we need to picture and envision and believe in. That we can raise a legislature in the House and in the Senate, that we can send people there that are going to stand strong, that are going to actually pass the bills, because we had many good bills that would have protected our doctors so that they could prescribe drugs for COVID like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine without worrying about their license. There's about 20 doctors that are being hounded by the Iowa Medical Board right now, and there are bills that would have prevented
started throwing out all the medicine names, I'm muted it because that'll get me kicked off.
Hey, you guys, thank you for being here again. It's Tana, and I'm back, and I was called to do this. So, as I mentioned, I had a sweatshirt in my truck that was an original Truckers for Trump sweatshirt that I got in 2016, paid for by truckers. This couple didn't have a lot of money, and they invested all that they could in these sweatshirts. And this one was mine, personally given to me. So I walked away from my speech and I went, wait, I want to give this to one of you. So what I want to do is, if you actually are on the convoy, in your truck, whether you're a child or an adult, a mom or a dad, aunt or an uncle, whatever, I want you to come on up here, and Gina has got a pad of paper. Just take a little small piece off, and then we'll have you drop it. Maybe we could do it in here after she takes out the money. And actually, this hasn't grown, so I don't know if y'all heard me or not, but put some money in there if you've been blessed. So put your name in if you are on the convoy, and then at the end of the event, something's happening here. At the end of the event, Gina will do a drawing for the sweatshirt. So it's a size small, medium. It's something that would fit me. So if you're an extra large man, it won't fit you, but maybe you would want to give it to one of your size to keep you from doing that. So come up, put your name down, and I would love to give this sweatshirt. Oh, thank you. I didn't mean to guilt anybody, but we do need to fill this up because these truckers are giving a lot of their own time and money. So thank you for allowing me to give that, and I can't wait to hear who wins the sweatshirt. All right, God bless you all. Thank you.
So there's a pad of paper right here with a pen. And they're gonna bring a box up so I can have my hat back and you guys don't have to look at my ugly mug. So next I have Lindsay Mayer here with us today. She's also been instrumental in this fight with me. She's been side by side. That's been very useful as I have fought this system myself. Almost a year and a half ago at this point, this was taken away from me because I led a protest out of my work and took 15 people off the floor with me when we stood up against having to file exemptions. Nobody out there should ever have to file an exemption that justifies their walk with God, especially to their employer. That is your walk to have, nobody else's. And Lindsay stood by my side and educated me on so much with this. It's been really helpful. Lindsay's one of the leaders of Informed Choice Iowa. They're a grassroots organization, and they work on educating not only our legislators, but our parents and the folks in the community. And I just really want to thank her for that.
Well, thank you everyone for coming tonight, and thank you to the convoy. I cannot say that enough because what you guys are doing right now is needed and necessary as many people try to forget what happened the last 2 years and just let it go away. Special shout out to the Republican Party of Iowa who didn't want me to speak tonight. Thank you. So what our organization does, we've been around for nearly 5 years now. We have been educating not only Iowans on medical freedom, but also our exemptions, on the risks of vaccinations, as well as the informed consent process and maintaining the right to choice. And thank God we started
You guys, I may have forgotten to mention that every one of these organizations that we've had up here tonight is a completely grassroots. It all started out here in these crowds. We've all listened to each other, heard what was said, and this is how it's supposed to work. It is supposed to work based on what we as the people want. And if they're not listening to us, it's time for them to go. Next, we're gonna bring up Jacob Hall. He is also instrumental in this fight with me. Jacob's been amazing. He's an independent media voice that relies on financial support from his viewers. Keep that in mind, guys. Jacob's been covering every one of my rallies, and if he couldn't make it, he always sent somebody to cover my rally for him. He's been involved in every step of the way with me, and I just want to make it very clear how much I appreciate you, Jacob. Thank you, guys. Give him a round of applause.
All right, you guys, thank you for being here. As Gina said, my name is Jacob Hall. I do the iowastandard.com. It is an online news. I love you guys. Okay? So, as you may or may not have figured out, I'm with the media. And I have sent here to do a quick little survey at the beginning. I just want to do popularity contest poll here for you guys on a couple people. Is anybody here a fan of a guy named Dr. Anthony Fauci? Nobody, okay. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, anybody a big fan of her? Oh yeah, I know somebody you guys are a fan of. There was a guy who was really popular for a time, sometime in the last year. I think his name was Brandon. Do you guys like a guy named Brandon? Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do was thank Brian, Farm Boy Garage, Bob, Gina, everybody for putting this event on, opening up and letting us come in here. The second thing I wanted to make sure to do tonight, and I hope it hasn't already been done, do we have any veterans here tonight? You can raise your hand. We would not be here without you guys. We wouldn't be able to speak. We wouldn't be able to do this convoy. We wouldn't have the freedoms we're here defending, and these people are driving to Washington, D.C. to defend without you guys. Thank you very much for your service. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we're in America. We're in the United States of America. We should not be here tonight having the conversations we are having about freedom, about liberty. We should not have to be here, but we are. Why? Why are we here? Because our elected officials, our elected elite, no longer care about our Constitution, they no longer care about the Bill of Rights, and they no longer care about our freedom. Even the people who are fighting for you in Washington, D.C. on our side, they don't really hate the idea of the power that has been accumulated by the elected elites in Washington, D.C., and a lot of them probably can't wait for the day that might come when they get to use that same power. But we have to stand in the gap and say no, no, no more. It's time for people to stand up for their freedom, people to stand up for their liberty. For way too long, what have we done? We've done nothing. We've relied on other people. We've shown up and we voted. And we thought, hey, we elected a freedom fighter. We elected the inflation fighter. We have nothing to worry about. But do you guys know what? Nobody cares about your freedom more than you. Nobody is going to fight for your freedom more than you are going to fight for your freedom. Look at what's happened with the justice system. Our side, other than Marjorie Taylor Greene, is she popular? Do we have any fans of Marjorie Taylor Greene? Louis Gohmert, Matt Gaetz, Paul Gosar, those guys go and they try and check in on the January 6th political prisoners who are being held for an insurrection where nobody's been charged with an insurrection. They just called it that. But look at what our side is doing for those people. And let's look at what the other side has done for the Black Lives Matter peaceful protest, mostly peaceful protest, while the businesses burnt down over CNN's left shoulder. Let's look at what the White House and Jen Psaki said yesterday when she was asked about the protest which is illegal. And the White House, Jen Psaki and Joe Biden, Brandon, all said, no, we encourage those protests. We want them to continue. There's no equality under the law all of a sudden. I was waiting for that. You guys, Mel Gibson, William Wallace asked in Braveheart, what will you do without freedom? Slavery or freedom? That's what you can have. That was the question posed. Maybe there's temporary comfort in compliance. Maybe there's temporary comfort in compliance. But is your limited liberty, your fragile, what's left of your freedom, is that worth selling out the liberty and the freedom of your kids and your grandkids? Ronald Reagan said, freedom is not passed through the bloodstream. It's never more than one generation away from extinction. They will take it. He said it must be fought for, protected, and handed on for our children to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was like in the United States where once men were free. Maybe you're a political veteran. Maybe you've been in this fight forever. Maybe you're a political newbie. But you were woken up. That's it's probably the best thing that's come out of COVID. The people have woke up. And the bottom line is you're here now. Every single one of you are here now. You know the challenge, you see the threat, and you're here for the fight. Freedom undoubtedly is on the line. Liberty is on the line. The future of this country, of the United States of America, that flag is on the line. We cannot quit now. This is the beginning. We cannot quit. We must press on. We must rise up. And we must answer the call of William Wallace and Ronald Reagan. It's our turn. We must do so for our kids, for our country, for our freedom. Millions of Americans from days gone by, millions of Americans today, and millions of Americans down the road are counting on us. They're counting on us to stand up, fight, preserve the freedom, preserve the liberty we've been given, so that one day your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids get to experience that very same freedom. We will not let them down. Thank you guys for being here. God bless on your travels. Go get them.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, there's like literally no breeze up here on this stage, and I feel like I could just sit down and go to sleep.
I appreciate it.
Anyway, we actually have a special speaker that showed up this evening. You probably noticed the tractor sitting over there in front of the garage next to the Patriot Express with the flag on it. That is a man known as Gary Leffler. He is running for Congress, and he would like to speak to you guys for a few minutes. Wherever he is. There he is. So, guys, thank you. We love you, Gary. I'm going to bring Trucker G up. Trucker G's been with us since the beginning. Everybody knows who he is, so I can't even do an introduction solid for him.
How you doing, guys? Oh, you can do better than that. You know, I come up here and I really didn't know what I was going to say. I heard all these speakers, and heck, I probably got some stuff that's not too popular to say. But first, let's start off by saying thank you to Farm Boys Garage for having us. Second off, I'd like to thank Farm Boys Garage for not making Ted Nugent a liar. Good to see you, Ted. You know, I don't really care about politics. I can care less about politics. I know way more about politics than I ever wanted to know. All I want to do is drive my truck, go be with my family, feed them, house them, and love on them. I'm here and I don't want to be here. I do not want to be here, and I shouldn't have to be here. All of you shouldn't have to be here. I'm tired of these politicians giving us lip service. I don't care about the left. I don't care about the right. What I care about is America. You know, they can tell us all they want to, but until they stand up and do what's best for this country, it's just lip service to me. Like I said, it's probably not too popular, but I'm a man of that. I say what I mean what I say. I wish they would. I really wish they would. You know, I was given a poem, and I've done read it once, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it, but I'm going to keep reading it because it's exactly why I'm here. A visitor from our past. I had a dream the other night. I didn't understand. A figure walking through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by my bed. He doffed his three-cornered hat, and speaking low, he said, "We fought the revolution to secure our liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave, and this the land of the free and the home of the brave. The freedom we secured for you, we hope you'd always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Your freedom gone, your courage lost. You're no more than a slave in this land of the free and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel and permits to own a gun, permits to start a business or build a place for one. On that land you believe you own, you pay a yearly rent, although you have no voice in choosing how the money's spent. Your children must attend a school that doesn't educate. Your Christian values can't be taught according to the state. You read about the current news in regulated press. You pay a tax you do not owe to please the IRS. Your money is no longer made of silver or gold. You trade your wealth for paper so your life can be controlled. You pay for crimes that make our nation turn from God in shame. You've taken Satan's number as you've traded in your name. You've given government control to those who do you harm, so they can padlock churches and steal the family farm, and keep our country deep in debt, put men of God in jail, harass your fellow countrymen while corrupted courts prevail. Your public servants don't uphold the solemn oath they've sworn. Your daughters visit doctors so your children won't be born. Your leadership artillery and guns to foreign shores, and send your sons to slaughter, fighting other people's wars. Can you regain the freedom for which we fought and died? Do you have the courage and faith to stand with pride? Can you regain the freedom for which we fought and died? I read that. Are there no more values for which you'll fight and save? Or do you wish your children to live in fear and be a slave? People of the Republic, arise and take a stand. Defend the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Preserve our great Republic and God-given right, and pray to God to keep the torch of freedom burning bright. As I awoke, he vanished in the mist in which he came. His words were true. We are not free. We have ourselves to blame. For even now, as tyrants trample each God-given right. We only watch and tremble, too afraid to stand and fight. If he stood by your bedside in a dream while you were asleep and wonders what remains of our rights he fought to die and keep, what would be your answer if he called out from the grave? Is this still the land of the free and home of the brave? Think about it, guys. I'm here for my grandchildren. You know, I was told 25 years ago that I got 20 years left to live. I'm on borrowed time, but I'm here. Why? Because of my grandchildren, because of your children. What I'd like to know is when is everybody else going to step up? This place should be a standing room only for city to city blocks. We heard the one lady say earlier when we started out at Atlanta, California, that we were 91 miles long. It should have been coast to coast. Do we not care about this country? Has everybody just given up? I just don't get it. It's disheartening. You know, I don't care what God you preach to. I mean, I have my faith, but that's what's great about this country, is freedom of religion. I don't care what color you are. That's what's great about this country. We're all brothers and sisters. I don't care who you sleep with at night. That's your business. Why do we get our nose in other people's business? What I do care about is our schools indoctrinating our children without the parents. That's what I care about. It's up to us to raise our children, not the government. You know, I don't care about far right, I don't care about far left. It doesn't matter to me. What we need to be as Americans. George Washington said it himself in his farewell address speech. The parties are going to be the death of this country. And we're watching it right before our eyes and doing absolutely nothing.
We're doing something.
But is it enough? I pray it is. I pray it is, brother. I pray it is. Guys, I appreciate y'all being here, and good thing I parked out in the street because I might not be welcome here. Guys, thank you again, Farm Boys. Thank you for having us. And those were all of my own opinions. I don't speak for nobody else but myself. Disclaimer.
We love you too, G. Have we decided you're gonna? Okay, so Marcus is gonna come up and speak now. And again, another one that I can't do any justice for, you guys. He's one of the lead organizers on this, and I'd like you to give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Somebody told me tonight I look like a trucker. Well, Iowa! Hello, Iowa! I didn't say the name of the city. Is it Des Moines? Is it Des Moines? Is it Des Moines? Des Moines. It's great to be here in Iowa. It's great to see everybody here tonight. Thank you for coming. Today I had a little boy come to me and ask me if he could say something tonight. I asked him what it was, and he just rattled it off. I'm done. Just rattled it off, and it was good. Jace, where you at, Jace? Get up here. How old are you?
I'm 9.
Where are you from?
Maryland.
What you got?
A speech.
A speech. And now he wrote it down.
Do you all see these cars? Do you see how many trucks are in it? And do you see how many trucks we have now? Okay, so all I am asking to stand up and hand out these flyers. We all can keep our freedom sons, daughters, and babies. So we can do what we want to do and have the rights to stand up for our freedom. Come and join us to DC to fight for your freedom.
Wow! How about that? Thanks, Chase. Give him another hand. Amazing. Literally, guys, I'm done. I mean, all the speakers have been phenomenal. They've really talked about everything that I had to say. They've covered it all. I really don't know where to go from here. It's just been amazing to see how strong Iowa is. And I will say it's been quite the journey since we left Adelanto. Little did we know that we were going to go back to California and come back across. Met a lot of great people in the States, talked to so many of them. And you know, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And just to listen to them talk and say their story and what's happened to them, their family members or other people that they know. What do? I wish we could write a book of everything that just me, that I've heard. It would be a thick book. And why? Why? It doesn't make sense at all. What's happening and why people are dying. I do want to say shout out to the live streamers for being here and live streaming. We know that, we know that they are watching us. They're watching our every move. We might be small, but we're mighty. Amen. So, I want to say to all the people that are talking about rats and everything, you got it wrong. There was a discovery made apparently, and this is kind of comical, there was a discovery made just recently that on the media, on social media, by somebody, I don't know who, but they have the latest information on two of the organizers of the People's Convoy. And they think there's a connection between the two of them. I'm not sure how they figured it out, but there is a connection between the two of them. Scott and Chris have been together for 35 years. Wow. They have grandchildren. They have two different last names, but what a find. You know, so this is how things happen in the world of social media. And it's just been crazy. If I could read some emails, you guys would laugh. But they talk about the convoy and they talk about everything. Literally everything was wrong in something that I was read. Everything was wrong that they said, that they reported. They said we had, I think, 10 or 12 trucks. They even got that wrong. We have 6. So, on our website, you can read the truckers' declaration here. We demand the declaration of national emergency concerning the COVID-19 pandemic be lifted immediately, and our cherished Constitution reign supreme. We are the people of the United States of America, and we stand together under the banner of freedom. Freedom is the one thing that unites us all. Liberty flows through all of our veins. I'm just going to go through here. I'm going to read a little bit fast. We are truckers. This is who we are. The People's Convoy. We are truckers, military, veterans, first responders, law enforcement officers, students, nurses, doctors, investors, county workers, teachers, cowboys, loggers, engineers, sanitation workers, professors, cashiers, flight attendants, pilots, sales reps, physical therapists. And if I missed anybody there, add yourself in. We are fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, married, single, divorced, separated, gay, and pagan. We are black, white, Asian, Native, American. We are immigrants, natives. We are nonpartisan. We are citizens of the free world. To our elected officials that believe they rule us, you work for us. Our Constitution was written to provide enough power to act on a national level, but not enough to deprive the people of fundamental rights. The people are prepared to see this challenge through, as we have seen through all challenges to our freedom in the past, and we will prevail and prosper. There's an endless list of things that I could protest and that we could protest and be angry about. As if constitutional laws, rules, regulations, mandates isn't enough, we can add a list of countless more things, including fuel, oil, gas costs, J6 prisoners, Roe v. Wade, 13 soldiers, term limits, because sometimes voting. The poor care of treatment to our veterans who fought for the very freedoms we are now fighting for. By the way, how many veterans do we have here? Thank you for your service. Last night, at our stop in Nebraska, we had the privilege of meeting a 97-year-old veteran. I don't remember his name. Art. Can you imagine what he has seen in his life? What he has witnessed? Where he's been? Listening to him talk and tell some stories. What goes through his mind when he's witnessing fighting for the very thing that he fought for? Who would have thought? This is where it's at, folks. This is where we're at right now. The things that are happening, and our freedoms being stripped from us. Where's the outrage? People always complaining about something, right? Everybody's got something to complain about. We hear it everywhere. We read it everywhere. Social media platforms, newspapers. It's large part, people complain about fuel prices, taxes, cost of living. This law, this bill, that bill. Politicians and on and on and on. But where are they at? Where are they? What are they doing to change things? This place should be packed. There should be a line of cars from here to. People need to stop talking about it and start being about it. And while I'm at it, sit down. Strap yourself in. No. Where's all the politicians at? Where's all the singers at? Musicians, high-profile people, celebrities, and more that have been very vocal about many of the issues we're all fighting. Where's Ted? Where you at, Ted? Where's John Rich? Jason Aldean? Aaron Lewis? Toby Keith? Alan Jackson? Lee Greenwood. Donald Trump. Kid Rock. Tom McDonald. Hank Williams Jr. Jesse James Dupree. And the list goes on. Oh, let's add Eminem in there, right? Let's add Oprah. Tim McGraw, let's put him in. I know, I said it before, and Tim McGraw, he's liberal. Yeah, where's he at? It's still fighting for freedom, right? They should be here as well. It's our freedom to choose, right? So I'm calling them all out. Where are they at? We can't love him or hate him. We can't forget about Ted Cruz, right? He did show up. He rode in Mike's truck back to D.C., which was good. But where is he now? Where is he now?
Where's the reps from Iowa? Where's the senators? The reps.
I'm asking for them to put their money where their mouth is, get here and fight for freedom's sake. Here. Don't just talk about it, be about it. On a side note, we did talk with Ted, and he was going to lead the convoy. If you all recall, he was going to lead the convoy with his Bronco through Texas. But his Bronco broke down. I'm a Ford guy, and I just hate to hear that his Bronco broke down. But he couldn't make it. The second time that he called us, he said he just didn't have the time to make it out to Hagerstown to join us. But he said he supports us 100%, and he promised to mention us on his show, which he did do. He did do. Thanks, Ted. We still love you, buddy. But we'd all love to hear some Stranglehold, Come and Take It, Cat Scratch Fever at our rallies, right? We'd all love to hear that. Come on, get here. You know, I've heard a lot of people from Iowa talk tonight, and I have a whole bunch here to talk about. You guys rock. And I want to tell you guys, I've been to D.C. I've been to D.C. working at a federal level. I was with a nonprofit organization fighting overregulation in the trucking industry. I know what it's like to be there on a monthly basis. And it's ugly. If you think you know what ugly is, you don't. They might be powerful over there. But I want to tell you all, the power is not over there, wherever over there is. West, Sunset, so that way. The power is with you all. The people have the power. How many meetings have I sat in on the Hill, both on the House and the Senate side? I've been all over the Hill. Sat in meetings, and I've heard, we need to hear from our constituents. Wow. You know, that opened my eyes. 6 years ago, I wasn't involved with political things, really much at all, in the trucking industry and otherwise. But I dove headfirst into it because I care about the trucking industry and what was my livelihood growing up and what I do now. And I care about my country and the future generations. I care about safety. And what they say they're doing in the name of safety in the trucking industry is not safe. Who cares? They paint a beautiful picture. The devil always paints a beautiful picture, right? Covers everything up, makes it look good, all in the name of safety. So my eyes were open to that. Hearing it over and over, we need to hear from our constituents. It told me how important it is for for them to hear from their constituents. And where are their constituents? They're in the states, right? They're in the state. I can't stress how important it is for you all to get involved at your state level, at your local level, in any capacity. It's so important. It makes it so much easier when somebody like myself goes to the Hill and we sit down in meetings and we don't have to start off the bottom and explain what we're trying to say or what we're trying to fight for or whatever it might be. Get involved. To see what happened on April 30th in so many states was amazing. To see how people came together. They convoyed, right? Is that a word? Yes. To their state capital, to their state houses. They met new people they haven't met before. I've heard so many people tell me they wouldn't have gotten involved had it been for either the Ottawa Convoy or the People's Convoy. How cool is that? That's what it's about. It's exactly what it's about, and that's exactly how it has to happen. People getting involved. And on top of that, it didn't stop with that one day's rally. There's more being planned in numerous states. They're doing more things. They're getting together. They're having rallies. They're having convoys. They're meeting people they never met before. They're now getting involved. They've never gotten involved before. And if that's not a win, and something to hang our hat on at the end of it, what is? To be a part of something that we the people was the catalyst of, at the very, it doesn't get better than that, folks. That's amazing. And you guys here in Iowa, you guys rock. You guys got it going on. Really, you do. So, if any of you have been on our website's thepeoplesconvoy.org. You can donate there. Thank you so much for the donations. Everything goes for the expense, the cost of the convoy. And I want to thank Brian and company for so graciously allowing us to use their facility. What a blessing it is to have kind folks to accommodate us. It really does mean a lot. Thank you. Gina and company, thank you for doing a bang-up job in your state and here. It's amazing. Thank you. And I do want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. And I do want to say, may God bless all of you and God bless America. Thanks for coming out. One more thing. Might as well, it's me. Sorry, Gina. I am going home tonight. I've been gone 4 months. And thank you. I miss my family. I never got to fight for this country. I grew up Mennonite. My parents grew up Amish. Was never involved in the political side of things. I never got to serve in the military. I feel this is my way that I can give back or fight for my country. Some incredible things have happened, and I'm so proud of everybody that I've gotten to work with and meet and talk with. It's been incredible. This isn't a farewell speech. I'll be leaving after tonight's rally. I'm going to be going home and going to spend some time at home and renew my IRP, do my IFTA quarterly. Some of y'all know what that is. UCR fees, catch everything up on my truck so it can stay legal. Ohio. So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to come back to the rally in Ohio on Sunday afternoon. It's just a short 35 minutes from my house, so I'll be up there at the Ohio rally. But stay strong. Don't give up. Don't grow weary. You guys got this. Thank you.
Marcus. I just want to mention something really quick, and Marcus, I'm blaming you for this because I've stayed away from the tears for a whole 24 hours now, and I was kind of proud of myself. For anybody that watched my live last night getting prepared to come over here, y'all seen how that 24 hours went. Anyways, it's a very real thing, guys. There's many of us out here that have not had the opportunity to be able to go home and see our children, our families, the ones that stand behind us and support us. It's very hard to walk away from your family, especially when you have children at home. What's even harder is when you don't have that support from home. There are many of us out here standing for each other's freedoms, but our family has either disowned us or doesn't believe in it. And that makes it very difficult. I'd just like to ask you to keep those folks in your prayers. So I made a mistake, guys, and I looked at this lady all night long wondering who she was. Guess what? I invited her. I messed that up. Her name is Rachel Cadena. And she's one of the Iowa State representatives for American Frontline Doctors. She's part of the Great Takedown to the State Leadership Council. And she's been working on educating the school boards and our parents about the ESSER 3 funds and the interim final requirements. She's a civil rights commissioner and a child activist for 25 years. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Rachel. We appreciate you. Marcus feels like he needs to talk again, guys. Should we let him talk?
One more thing! I have one more thing. There's a reason that I wanted to go and do my little talk before the next speaker. You'll find out. Santa, David Riddell, preach it, brother. Pentecostal style. Lay it down, my good friend. Wow, what a friend. I really appreciate him. Got to know him very well, and it's pretty amazing to get to know good people. There's a lot of good people here. David?
Oh, it's good to be here tonight. Good to see everybody out here tonight. Good to see all these American flags. Even better to see all you American patriots. God bless America. I'm humbled to be able to stand on this stage and speak to you tonight. I had absolutely no intentions of being any part of leadership or speak or anything like that when I came out on this convoy about 10 weeks ago. Actually, I didn't even plan to be here at this time. I told my family and the people that I leased to that I'd be gone for 2 weeks. And here I am. But I came out here and I began to meet people and realized that I was not alone in the way I felt about our country. I was not alone in the way that I believed our country should go. And I had found those people that I believe in, that I believe we can change the direction that our country is going right now in a peaceful way. Tonight they begin this meeting with the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. That song came about by, in the War of 1812, Francis Scott Key, he was actually negotiating the release of some prisoners that were held on a British ship. And he was trying to talk with the British leadership and try to get them released. And he walked over, they were held in the bottom of a ship, a British warship. He walked over and he looked down into the belly of that ship and he began to see those men laying in just putrid squalor. And as they were beginning to negotiate their release, the commander of that ship said, "We have to sail. No one can leave." So they raised the anchors and they began to sail towards Fort McHenry. And everybody on board was stuck. They didn't know that it was going to be one of the greatest nights in American history, that from that night we would get our national anthem. They sailed up on Fort McHenry. They began to barrage it, began to bomb it with everything they had. And the men in the bottom of that ship felt much like many of you do. They felt like they were out of the battle. They'd been captured by the enemy, that they had no voice in what was going on anymore. But little did they know that night they were going to become a part of great American history, just like you are. Francis Scott Key walked over to check on those men who were out of the battle, who were laying in their own filth and in their own squalor, who were chained together and chained to the ship. And they asked out that night, "Is the flag still flying? Does she still stand tall?" And Francis Scott Key looked over the embankment of that besieged Fort McHenry, and in the bombs burst, it lit up the flag, and he'd holler back down and he'd say, "The flag still flies, my brothers. The flag still flies." They began to cry out, them men who were chained together and chained to the ship and actually were enemies, or actually prisoners of their enemies. They said, "Yeah, the flag still flies. It doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter how I'm chained. It doesn't matter that I'm a captive in this ship, but the flag still waves." Sir Francis Scott Key began to write those immortal words. "Oh, say can you see, by the dawn's early light," and wrote down those words that we now sing at every sporting event, at every great political event. The flag still flies. You are not alone, America. You are not alone. You feel like you're chained into this hellhole that is becoming a communist United States, but I tell you, there is still blood from 1776 People's Convoy has built a platform for every voice in America. Every voice in America that still treasures freedom, that still treasures liberty, individual liberties. All you got to do is join. Say, what's your platform? It's freedom. That's our platform. Somebody asked me the other day, why are you here? Why are you doing this? I'll tell you why. Because I know behind us is a whole bunch of people that have given up hope in peacefully resolving the conflict that is our American government. They point to, and rightly so, listen to me, rightly so, point to the Second Amendment. That is your constitutional right. In the original intent of that, it is your constitutional right. And you 2A members know exactly what I'm talking about. It is your constitutional right to overthrow a tyrannical government with the Second Amendment. That is your right. But though it may be your right, is it moral to do so at this time? We are moral people. We must be moral people. And until you have tried everything you know to do in a peaceful manner, do not talk about picking up your weapons at this time. I tell you what you need to do. Turn the key of your car. Turn the key of your truck. Join in with the People's Convoy. Let's go to Washington, D.C. and take our government back. This is my company t-shirt. It was the next thing I pulled out. But if someone would read what it says on the back, that's my company logo. Mind your own business, commie. I will not live in communism. I will not live in tyranny. I was born a free man, and I will die a free man. One of my buddies, a truck driver, the other day told me, he said, I can't afford to do what you're doing. I said, I can't afford not to. Because this is my country. I will live here till my dying day, but I will live here as a free man. How about you? Talking about it ain't going to solve it. Let's be honest tonight. Let's be honest. We created this mess. We sat back and thought we'd done our civic duty by punching a ballot or voting for somebody who lied to us yet again. We thought that that's all we had to do every 2 and every 4 years. Well, we created it. Now we got to clean it up. Even Dr. Frankenstein had to kill his monster. Can I get a witness? So this is the deal. We're going to do everything we can to peacefully negotiate with this current government. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the Democrats only. I'm talking about the Republicans too. I'm sick of both of you. I'm sick of both of you lying to me. Lying to the American people. These are good, honest, decent, moral, hard-working people. And I'm tired of you being lied to by them scumbags up there on the hill. You guys literally, when you go to the peoplesconvoy.org and you click on the donate button, you know what you're doing? You're literally fueling this movement to go to Washington, D.C. and represent you to your representatives. We shouldn't have to do this, but we are. I had somebody get on my live stream the other day, and he said, you're not going to do anything when you get to D.C. You know what my answer was? Okay. I don't care what you say. I know what I'm going to do. I know what the American people want us to do. And I know what those who are joining this convoy every day heading to Washington, D.C. wants to do. You know why? Because I want to do it too. We are going to be heard in Washington, D.C. There's a whole lot of people there right now protesting different things. But we're going there for one thing. We want our freedom back. For so long, for decades, for 100 years, the politicians and the government of this United States has been taking little bites out of the apple of freedom. They have been taking little bites after little bites until now you and I are standing here with a core calling it freedom. And now they're going after the seeds of that. You cannot have our Constitution. That is sacred to me. That is dear to me. And I will protect it with my life if necessary. I'm sick and tired of liars having the upper hand. I'm sick and tired of liars having the media to speak for them. We're sitting here with our live streamers. God bless our live streamers. That's all we've got. Every once in a while, a little local newspaper will send somebody out to talk to us. That's about it. The great media companies that we have built into that great massive media, they don't want anything to do with us. You know why? Because they no longer stand for freedom either. They've been coming after the Second Amendment for years. And so many people that didn't believe in guns and didn't like guns, they just sat back on the sideline. Now they're coming after your First Amendment rights. How do you feel about that, where you can't speak? I saw live streamers, and I had to do it myself, begin to take off their live streams or mute their live streams because some of the live platforms, some of the platforms that we're on, they don't allow free speech anymore. Can I tell you something? Those people are in support of the government that we have right now. That government wants to take away your right to be able to speak freely in your own country. I talked to one of the Ottawa protesters, and he asked me a question. He said, Santa, what would you do if your government came to you and said you can no longer live in this country? Where would you go? Now, where would I go if my government kicked me out of my own country? I thought about different places, beautiful places. Then I answered him, I said, there's nowhere else I want to live. And he looked at me and he said, that's why you can never, ever, ever quit the fight. I will take this fight to Washington, D.C. Fail or lose, doesn't matter. I'll tell you something. Success is not ours. We can't claim success even when we have it. But what I'm going to stand before him one day and give an account for is my deeds. What did I do? What did I do? Whether we're successful or not, I will stand before God and I will look him dead in the eye and say, God, I did everything I knew to do. How about you? Drain the swamp has been a motto for a long time. The last political system that possessed this before this one here, they didn't make that up. We've been saying that for years. Drain the swamp. We've known it's nasty. We've known it's corrupt. And somebody asked me, said, how are they going to drain the swamp? They didn't drain the swamp. What are you going to do about the swamp? Well, folks, it's a little hard to drain the swamp when the alligators are making the rules. They got big teeth and they like it swampy. But here's the deal. Washington, D.C., the Congress and the Senate, you may have big teeth, but we're coming. And we got big trucks.
Well, I've got nothing to add to that. However, we do have, as we close the night, we're going to have Miss Kathy come back up and our kids that are in the convoy, and they're going to sing God Bless America for us. I forgot Tanya, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, let's give these kids a hand because they're away from home and their friends and doing all this. Good job. Alright, you guys ready? Yeah! Okay. I know.
Hey guys, I'll tell you what, all these guys that spoke tonight, it's really a hard act to follow them. But there's one part of that story about that flag that was left out. When it was all said and done, there was a whole lot of bodies holding that flag up.
Amen.
A whole lot of bodies. While those bullets and those cannons were firing, those men ran up there and they would not let that flag fall.
That's right. Neither will we.
But there's even a bigger act here that nobody can follow. That's our Father in heaven. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Off here, my battery's about dead. Alright, rewatch it again. Rewatch it again. Share it with all your friends. Tell them to get out here.
So here comes another thing, y'all.
I love all of
How about
you.
we all sing
See you
Amazing
tomorrow.
Grace?
Good night.
Because that's what we